Matt Smith here for the Sports Talk Media Network, reporting on the Gamecocks' 21-20 victory over Vanderbilt. And yeah, I've got a smirk on my face because of what I just saw. If you are watching this and you are a South Carolina Gamecock fan, and that's why you follow everything that they do, and that's why you're so hopeful that the Shane Beamer experiment is going to work, you know this is not unusual, and that's a little frightening. South Carolina just escaped Vanderbilt. By all rights, they played poorly enough to lose to almost any living, breathing opponent, and Vanderbilt did their best to give the game back away to the Gamecocks, and South Carolina, to its credit, took it with the insertion of Zeb Noland at quarterback. But I know there's probably a lot of emotions for Gamecock fans swirling because you want to be happy after a victory. You want to be happy that you're 4-3. But this team is not improving. They are not playing better week to week. They are not building on small successes and turning those into larger successes the way you would like to see a program do with a first-year coach like Shane Beamer. If you saw the game, you know it started out sweet and it finished sweet. And it was bitter for about 80% of the time in between. South Carolina goes for 75 yards on its first drive of the game. That culminates in a touchdown, a short one to Nick Muse after a 25-yard pass from Luke Doty to Josh Vann. Drive number 2 finishes in a touchdown, an 82-yard pass to Jaheim Bell. The final drive, Zeb Noland has to come in because Luke Doty has been ineffective, and South Carolina was unable to score against Vanderbilt for 10 consecutive drives. 10 straight drives, South Carolina came away fruitless. Finally, Zeb Noland gets in the ball game, rescues South Carolina by going 5 of 8 for 75 yards, touchdown pass to Xavier Legette. Parker White comes in, hits the extra point. Gamecocks win. Everybody cheers here at Williams-Brice, but it was a bit of a Bronx cheer. It was as much an exhale of relief. And from the comments we were taking in on Twitter tonight at Sports Talk SC, I know that while this was a relief for many Gamecock fans, most fans did not leave impressed. Now, what do we, as you move forward, what is South Carolina building on? Is Zeb Noland the answer at quarterback? Maybe. And that's a problem in and of itself. Zeb Noland is someone who transferred in, and we all know the story, came in to be a coach for South Carolina. He may be their best option, which means South Carolina still has big questions at quarterback moving forward because as they're building this program, it's not about beating Vanderbilt in 2021. It's about raising the level of this program so that they can compete with even Tennessee and Georgia moving forward and Florida. Florida lost to LSU today. South Carolina would love to be the kind of program that would pull that upset off the way LSU did over Florida. But that's not where they are. Where they are is they look like they're still searching for answers on offense. They put up 434 yards of offense today. Jaheim Bell had a nice game, a really nice game, going for over 120 yards receiving. Zaquandre White is someone who can contribute to this team moving forward. 12 carries, 65 yards. But I think anybody that's honest with themselves, any honest assessment of this club right now, South Carolina, cannot be impressed, despite the 4-3 record with the wins over Eastern Illinois, East Carolina, Troy, and now Vanderbilt, the lowest on the SEC totem pole. And South Carolina, frankly, was lucky to get it and lucky to have Zeb Noland on the roster. He did come in, didn't just provide a spark, came in, said, let's roll, guys, took over the huddle, took over the game. Everyone rallied around him, and it looks like, based on what we saw tonight in the final drive, Shane Beamer in his postgame comments would not commit to Zeb Noland in the future or to Texas A&M next week. But how do you put this guy back out on the bench? 2-0 start. The 2 wins that South Carolina got early in the season, yes, against lower level competition, Zeb Noland engineered those. Doty comes in. The expectation is he's going to grow with the program. The offense is going to grow around him. They're going to use his mobility. Marcus Satterfield will use his particular skill set and tailor the play calling to what Doty can do well. It hasn't worked. His numbers weren't bad. Luke Doty was not really bad statistically today for South Carolina. 17 of 27, 242 yards, had 2 touchdowns before throwing 2 second-half interceptions. So all was not lost, but it just hasn't clicked with Luke Doty the way that I think most Gamecock fans would have expected, and perhaps the way Shane Beamer would expect up to this point. The defense played very well. Yes, there were issues. They had tackling issues at parts in the third quarter, which led to Vanderbilt getting that 17-14 lead. But overall, the defense continues to be the strength of this team. Now moving forward, is it Quan White? Does he take carries away from Kevin Harris? I would think another issue for South Carolina fans has to be the fact that Marshawn Lloyd has yet to truly emerge. To this point, his numbers and his performance have been pedestrian behind an offensive line that isn't playing great. But they played great for one series tonight, the final series. And that was with Zeb Noland behind them, not with Luke Doty behind them. And I think that is something that will have to be discussed. Shane Beamer addressed it tonight. He took it head on, but he did say, we're going to have to check it out. He said Luke Doty's foot was bothering him. He was a bit injured, and that they needed Zeb Noland to come in and win this game, not necessarily take the starting job. But how do you put Zeb Noland back on the bench? That's what you have to ask. And you also have to ask what's going on with this offense. So you have to temper the excitement about Zeb Noland and the way he played in less than a minute of action tonight with what's the problem with this offense overall? Why hasn't Marcus Satterfield to this point in the season figured it out, been able to tinker with it and find some answers? It does look like there's playmakers out there. Jaheim Bell, as we mentioned, over 100 yards receiving tonight. Zaquandre White comes in, gives it a spark. Kevin Harris, he was an all-SEC performer just a season ago. There seems to be pieces and parts out there, but it's not all working together, and this offense lacks rhythm almost all the time. Now, should I be this negative? Maybe I shouldn't. It's a 21-20 victory. South Carolina fans, have a party. Have some fun. The fact Zeb Noland rescued the team, that was exciting. It's something you'll remember. Gamecock fans have always remembered what Eric Kimry did in limited action, coming in, throwing the fade. Zeb Noland now is going to be that kind of figure. Maybe not to Eric Kimry's level, but Zeb Noland's somebody that Gamecock fans can rally around. But after the party, tomorrow, throughout the week, as you start to spin it ahead and look toward what South Carolina has in front of it, including a very good Texas A&M team on the road, what are the answers for South Carolina? How do you beat good football teams with the offense we saw tonight? Maybe Zeb Noland's that answer, but if he is, he's probably not the answer in 2022. So there's much work to be done. But South Carolina fans can celebrate a homecoming victory tonight, 21-20 over Vanderbilt. Gamecocks are 4-3. However they got there, and it wasn't pretty most of the time, however they got there, they are there. But a lot more work to do as they prepare for a good Texas A&M team, which seems to have found its footing after wins over Alabama and then a big win over Missouri today. We'll talk about it, of course, all week long. Myself, Phil Kornblut, Chris Bergen, and you on the Sports Talk Media Network across the state. We invite you to tweet at us at Sports Talk SC and follow along with us on our website as well, because we'll dig into this. Shane Beamer will have his press conference Tuesday. Absolutely. We'll be there covering it. We'll have that audio posted, and you can listen to it as well on Sports Talk on Tuesday night on our Touchstone Energy Talking Tuesday. So that's it from here at Williams-Brice Stadium. South Carolina, a winner, 21-20, but perhaps a game like this offers more questions than answers. We'll discuss it throughout the week on Sports Talk and the Sports Talk Media Network.